Okay. So I think before we start, what I would like to do is I just want to briefly go around the room and I'd love for each of you to introduce yourself. It can be 1 minute, short and sweet. All you need to do is, or you can share your name. I know we're all used to introducing ourselves like, hi, my name is Kaylee. I think if you want to say where you're from, but I think we all have more or less of an idea what you're hoping to get out of these Zoom sessions, and then what has been coming up for you at the start of this new year. It could be goals, it could be a feeling, it doesn't have to be a good feeling, whatever is on your mind. For me, a lot of negative feelings and emotions came up during December. And also, if you don't have any goals, that's also completely okay. You can literally just say, I don't have any goals. There is no no pressure to be clear or certain on anything. Okay, so I'll go first. My name is Kaylee. I'm from Bloemfontein, hoping to move
Hi,
to a big
Katie.
city. And well, I'm hosting these calls because I genuinely wanted to create a space to give back to you ladies. I wanted to create a space where women can talk about real things without feeling like they need to have the answers. I don't have all the answers either. Um, but I can hold space for you to feel seen and heard without judgment. My goals this year is to just be fully present. And I'll be honest, it's not been off to a very good start in that regard. But I want to be more present. No thanks to the deadlines helping me to not be present, but that's okay. We're all going through it. And then I want to be more present in the magic that life has to offer. I want to feel more joy and pleasure. I want to trust myself more. That's something I've been struggling with. And my body. I want to learn to trust my body a little bit more. Who's next? You can volunteer or I'll start calling
I
out.
volunteer.
Great.
Okay. Okay, I'm Delay. I'm a teacher and I live in Bloemfontein. What I would like to get from the Zoom calls and the meetings is a platform where I can relate to other people that go through similar things that I do in terms of like the cycles and how you feel and why your body is doing what it's doing. So just to, not necessarily not feel alone, but, where you can share thoughts, ideas, and feelings with each other, and to know that, not that you're not alone, but just that you can feel a bit better about it, that you're not the only one, and maybe someone else is going through exactly what you are going through. And my goals, joy, more joy, kindness, and kindness and everything, yes, but more joy out of the things that you do, that I do, and to work less and
Amen to that.
focus a bit more on myself in terms of like just where I spend my time and my energy. And not that it has to benefit me but and advantage me, but I don't want to get so caught up in work and being in work mode the whole time, and then life passes you by and then you're like, what did you do this year? No, I just worked. So that's also part of my goals as to where I spend my energy. Yeah, that's me.
Thank
I
you.
have other goals too, but those are the ones for now. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Next.
Yes, next.
Okay, I'll go. So basically, I'm Eleanor, for those who don't know me. I had been with MPG, I'd been with Kaylee before. Really, really beautiful time. I just lost myself in the process because towards the end of my studies, I basically gave up on my well-being. And I realized that with a process that's dual related, I was not able to juggle the two things, and I was not able to see the results that I was looking for. And I would disappoint myself, and I would disappoint a couple of other people that were pushing me. And it would be that thing of, would I be able to juggle life together with work? So that's what got to me. And I was told that I must wait until I am done with my studies, until I could actually commit to something. I mean, I was trying to prove myself the whole time. And that was one thing that I tried to get away from, but I am who I am, and I just accepted it. So I think it's been 2 years. I did my honors and I did my masters. It was really hard on myself. And I am done with that now, and I've got work. I've got work that I'm working remotely. It's a company that's in Cape Town. So I've got my own personal space in Bloemfontein, and I've got my parents that live in Clarksville, and I'm now based in wherever I can be. So it's actually quite cool. So my goals for the year is to actually find myself, find who I can actually be. And with this whole community thing, it really motivated me the first time that I joined. And I love the fact that, there's other people that are pushing you. There's other people that are actually going through what you're going through, and you don't have to hide. So yes, that's one of my goals. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Elena. That is, and I feel you so much in that regard. That's been happening to me also lately with all the deadlines. Like I have all of these, we normally help, we have another part of our business where we help other coaches build their brands and their businesses. And, they want their stuff to be done soon. They don't care about whether you need to go train or sleep or whatever the case might be. And so that's been coming up for me a lot lately as well. It looks like one day I'm training and then the next day I am either too busy or I just don't have the energy to do that. So it's fully understandable. And I mean, the studies and everything that's going on. So it's okay. There's nothing wrong with you. It happens, but you have the opportunity to get to know yourself again. And I think that is an exciting journey.
Yeah.
And congratulations on your honors.
Thank you so much. Thanks.
We've got two more ladies. If they want to share, if you don't want to, you're welcome to chat. Yes, Melisha.
Okay, hi. You can call me Mel for short form. I'm a pediatrician. I live in Bloemfontein. I'm a mom of twin girls, toddler girls. It's 3.5. And I've got a very supportive husband. I think my biggest struggle this past year was actually getting into the fitness process, which I've just started over the last year. And then my main focus for this platform was actually to develop relations with other and form bonds with other women that are going through a similar balance between life and fitness. I think sometimes we all feel that we can't do it all. It's either we have to take care of the family or go to work, and then fitness kind of comes last. So I think in the last year, I've actually been trying to focus a lot more on my fitness and mental health. Working in healthcare, especially with children, sometimes can be quite devastating, and it does definitely take a knock on your mental health. So I initially started fitness just from a mental health point of view, going on the elliptical for an hour. And it's only until last year I started strength training, and I trained with Kaylee as well. It's been an amazing process. And thanks, Kaylee, for everything that you've done to support me through that process. I feel this platform would actually help to open up doors where I can actually form relationships with other women and discuss what we all go through and feel like we're not alone in this. I don't mind also being someone that's used to actually give feedback in terms of whether it's helping or not, because I think any help that we can get from any platform will really make a difference in the long term. And I think even as a mom, just to form relationships with other moms that are going through the same thing, managing toddlers. For example, today I made pasta and my toddlers are like, I don't want pasta, I want rice now. So you start the whole process again. And anyone that has like nieces or nephews around the same age, you'll know that it's quite daunting for the mums or dads or even the caregiver just to be around. So looking at life as a whole, it's been a bit tricky balancing it all, and I hope I can get something from this platform.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Malisha. I hope you get something from this platform too. I really do, even if it's just a place to let it all out. That is
Thank you.
That's one thing that we're going to be focusing on a lot as well, is the rage that we're feeling. And then we're always being taught, like, you have to be a good girl. You can't be angry. You have to just always be
exactly
there for someone else. Yes. And so we're going to work on a lot of those emotions that we're suppressing like that. And I'm so excited.
Thanks, Kaylee.
You're so welcome. Thank you for being here, taking time off of your busy schedules. Sophia, it has been a long time. Welcome.
Thank you. You know I'm not a big talker. I'm a listener.
Well, that's okay.
Where do I start? I'm a mom of two, but my kids are almost both adults. I have one in school still. I'm in Richards Bay. And I've joined this platform because it's nice to know that there's women in the same boat as I am. The struggling.
Well, you look amazing. What did you do?
You. I just carried on with my gym work after I've joined your challenge. And well, I don't really have a twin, but I can say I got rid of my extra twin. It was piggybacking on me. So yeah, I'm past my goal weight, which is good. I'm happy. And so I still train a lot. I train with Bernie. I'm sure you know Bernard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, you look amazing. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you. It's nice to know that I can still be part of this group.
Of course. You're always welcome. Yeah. All right. So thank you, ladies, so much for sharing all of these things. I know that it sounds like a lot of us have the same need. We're looking for a connection. We want to be seen. We want to be heard. And showing up and being vulnerable is not always easy, especially with all the roles that we've taken on in life as women, whether that is being a student, being a coach, being a mother, being a pediatrician, all of these things that has such a big impact in our lives. And sometimes that leads us to completely letting go of what, or putting aside what is important to ourselves as individuals, because everyone else, that is part of being a good girl, is always just being available to everything else and everyone else. And when you need something, you are completely lost on the list. Okay, but let's start with today's topic. And also, we are going to dive into these topics and things like that, and we'll have an open discussion about the things afterwards. But this is not necessarily to teach you or to tell you what you need to do. These are things that have worked for me, things that I'm trying to do, but I want to also hear from you. So if you have experience with something with whatever topic that it is we're going to get into, and you have found something that worked for you, please, by all means, share it. Okay, this is, like I said, it's an open room. We're talking about all of these topics and things. But I'm not the only one here that knows stuff. Okay, we're all coming with different perspectives and different realities. So that's essentially what I just want you all to know. Okay. So I'm just going to share a screen because I did prepare some slides. I don't know about all of you, but sometimes for me, it's just a little bit easier to see things. Now, let me just, can everyone see the screen?
Yes.
All right. Right, stop. All right, so we've talked a little bit about the chaos that we're feeling, and essentially what we're trying to do after the holidays, if you've been away on holiday, or even, you know, you've studied for the last year or two, how do we get back into rhythm, and what is rhythm actually? So there is this cultural story that January is meant to feel like a reset. Fresh, clean, we're supposed to be motivated, it's new year, it's new energy. But for a lot of women, including me, it feels a little bit more foggy, it feels resistant, it feels disorientating. And the problem isn't that you or me or anyone is doing anything wrong, but the problem comes in that your nervous system. Did someone? Please bring my charger. Hello.
Did you met someone? Who is this?
Sorry, Kay, it was me.
Oh, hi, Lydia. How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I'm good, thank you.
Sorry about that.
No problem. I was just wondering, like, what's happening? Welcome. We've started discussing our topic. We're gonna talk a little bit more. If you can stay till the end, I'll promise I'll try to be as quick as possible. And then we'd love to hear from you also. Okay. So why January feels hard. This is where we're currently at. So it's not that we're doing anything wrong. It is that our nervous system, your entire being, doesn't follow a calendar, okay? Your body doesn't know it's January the 1st or January the 15th or whatever. Your nervous system responds to experience, not dates. And so the holiday period often comes with disrupted routines, a lot of social overstimulation, changes in sleep, changes in food, emotional weight. That could be family dynamics, grief, comparison, pressure. Even if you enjoyed the holidays, your system, or entering the holidays, your system still needs to adapt. So when January arrives and you try to just snap back into discipline, early mornings, hard workouts, strict plans, your body often responds with, no, thank you, I am not ready yet. And then we often interpret that as laziness, lack of willpower, self-sabotage, I've lost my motivation. But most of the time, and very often, it is not failure at all. It's a transition. And transition requires a re-entry, not with force. So now let's talk about fatigue versus self-sabotage. Now, this distinction alone can change a lot of things. Fatigue and self-sabotage feels similar, but they often have a completely different response. So fatigue sounds like, I want to, but I'm exhausted. I can't concentrate. Everything feels like effort. And sometimes, more than often, that's me. I need to rest more. Self-sabotage starts like, I'll start tomorrow. What's the point? I always mess up. I will never be able to do that. Now, here's the issue. Most women respond to fatigue with discipline. We tell ourselves that you need to push harder, you need to be stricter, you need to do more. It's like stepping on the gas when the tank is empty. And most women respond to self-sabotage with shame. So we criticize ourselves, we judge ourselves. You're not good enough, you need to be better. And we threaten ourselves into change. Now, that doesn't fix the pattern or the problem, it just worsens it. So instead of asking, what is wrong with me, we try to reframe it and ask, what does my system need right now? And that is the question that often leads us to rhythm. Okay. Is everyone still all right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Now, what is rhythm? Yeah, okay. Rhythm is not a perfect schedule. Rhythm is essentially doing the same thing every day, but with different expressions, kind of like consistency. But we all have such a difficult relationship with consistency that I like to reframe that to rhythm. But that is another topic for another time. Rhythm is not discipline just for discipline's sake. Rhythm is responsive. It is the ability to listen and adjust and accept. It's knowing when to push, when to pause, when to simplify things, and when to support yourself instead of overriding or judging yourself, when to be a little bit more lenient and kinder. Overriding looks like you're training hard even when you're depleted. You are forcing productivity when you're emotionally overwhelmed. You are ignoring hunger, exhaustion, or resistance. You are pushing through because you should. And I understand how difficult that dynamic can be, because in the end, things got to get done. These things need to happen. But we can be a little bit kinder to ourselves. So I want you to think of rhythm kind of like breathing. Inhale, exhale. If you try to inhale all day without exhaling, you'd panic. And if you try to only exhale the whole day, you'd collapse. But this is a unfortunate, constant, or permanent state that women try to live in. More effort, more structure, more output. And that, after the holidays especially, can often backfire. So we're going to do another reframe. So instead of asking, how do I get back on track? How can I re-enter my life? Doesn't that just sound a little bit more easier? It doesn't sound like you're forcing something. You're actually trying to figure out without judgment how you can get back into rhythm and structure. Okay, so let's talk a little bit how you can re-enter rhythm. I call it the soft start. If everything feels hard, the problem is usually the size of the expectation. For example, if you expect yourself to go from no structure straight into a full routine, your nervous system will resist. So, instead of full workout plans or a perfect nutrition or strict routines, you try to figure out what is the smallest version of consistency I can keep without resistance. That could be 10 minutes of movement a day instead of an hour. That could just be protein and fruit instead of a full meal prep. That could be going to bed 20 minutes earlier instead of a rigid routine. And that's something I've been doing lately. It's not even 20 minutes, it's 5 minutes. I am lucky enough to have a boyfriend who is very much also into wellness and health and fitness. So he ordered some form of red light type of situation. Don't ask me where or how, but so lately that's all I'm doing. I'm working and I have all of these other Zoom classes that I need to attend to get my certificates and whatnot. And I need to be up at 4 a.m. because I have clients from 5 a.m. So sometimes I feel like I don't even have time to properly shut down. But it literally only takes 5 minutes. I've done this. And all I do is I put the red light on. You don't need the red light. Like I said, I'm lucky enough to have it. I lie on the floor with my legs elevated and I just breathe. I just take deep breaths and I listen to the silence. And it is amazing how quickly my nervous system feels. I feel more relaxed. And it's not really about sleep hygiene to me at this stage. It's more just about staying grounded throughout all the chaos that's happening in the world, in our lives, and all of these things. Okay, so that is what essentially will lead to consistency. Consistency is rhythm. It's doing, like I said, it's doing the same thing every day, but showing up with different expressions. So you're asking yourself, what version of me is available to show up today, rather than how hard can I push? Some days that version is energized and focused. Some days it's tired but tender. Some days it's distracted but willing, and all of those versions count. But we're so quick to judge ourselves for being tired or not being able to do a full workout. And that is what the all or nothing mindset looks like. If I can't do a full hour of workout, I'm not going to do it at all. That is self-sabotage. And you don't have to go to the gym. You can really just do movement at home. And lately for me, I've not been training to get leaner. Of course, I want to get leaner. I mean, we'll always have these aesthetic goals. We want to look good. But for me, that's really just been another way of keeping myself grounded, because I can literally feel, I'm sitting in front of the laptop for hours at a time trying to finish the stuff. And I can feel on the days that I haven't trained, there's all of the energy that is stuck in my body. It's stagnant energy. And the way to get energy to move, to make space for new, fresh energy, is to move. And that can be 10 minutes. Today, I just did 30 minutes cardio. I was supposed to train, but, life happens. We're almost done. Okay, so the second thing, that was our soft start approach. Asking yourself, what is the smallest version of consistency I can keep without resistance? So what version of me is available to show up today? Is it the tire one? Fine, I'll do 10 minutes of whatever. Okay. The second tool, oh no, I'm supposed to stay here because, okay. The second tool is anchors and not rules. An anchor, not rules. So rules are rigid. Yeah, I don't like following rules. I don't know about all of y'all. No one must tell me you must do this. Then I'll tell you, I don't have to do anything. I don't want to. So rules are rigid. For example, I must train an hour a week, or I must train 5 times a week or it doesn't count. Anchors are grounding. An anchor is something you constantly return to, even when everything feels like it's falling apart or when it feels like it's too much. That can be a morning walk, a glass of water before coffee. And I know it sounds tedious, but it actually works. 1 nourishing meal a day instead of 3 or 6. If you can do 1 balanced meal a day and the rest looks like takeaways, that's a great start. Keep going. You know, eventually you will want to make sure that your lunch is also balanced. 5 deep nasal breaths, either in the mornings or before your workout or before you go to bed. Honestly, I cannot explain to y'all the magic of breath work. And that's what we were talking about earlier. You know, some women, sometimes it feels like you're constantly just taking all of these shallow breaths, and that's what's happening when there's so much going on. When you take 5 minutes to properly deep nasal breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth, and slow it down, it makes a massive difference. Gratitude before bed. And that's sometimes, I know how difficult that can also be. You know, sometimes it just feels like I don't feel like I want to feel grateful because I'm too tired. That's also a thing. But you can start with simple things. And I normally start with my cat. Y'all, I cannot tell you how grateful I am for this cat. She is the love of my life. But don't let Ricardo hear me say that. Okay. And then it accumulates from there. It happens. Because we don't just want to think about what we're grateful for. You actually want to feel it. And it doesn't have to be big things, you know. We're also lucky to be able to sleep in bed. I'm super grateful for my bed. I can't wait to get into bed at night. When life feels chaotic, anchors create rhythm without pressure. The third tool, so we've got, I see on here, I have them a little bit deurmekaar. They've flipped around. A soft entry point is first. Then we have your anchor. The third one is name the season you are in. Ask yourself, am I rebuilding? Am I maintaining? Or am I expanding? So someone who might need to rebuild looks like low energy, emotional processing, needing more rest, and simplifying life. Your job here is to restore your energy, to rebuild trust with yourself, and to reduce friction with your body, your schedule, and your expectations. Someone who's maintaining looks like their energy is steady, they have stable habits, they have the consistency without the strain. Someone who is trying to expand looks like growth, challenges, new goals. You know, there's an increased capacity. Someone trying to expand while rebuilding leads to burnout. Nothing has gone wrong if it isn't your season to push. We are all cyclical. Sometimes we need to rebuild. Sometimes we want to expand. And other times we just want to maintain. So it's important that you understand the season you are in and that you accept that fully and embrace it. All right. We have a fourth tool that I see is not in here. The fourth one is stop negotiating with your inner critic. That voice that says you should be over this by now. You know, if that a boyfriend that left you, or I don't know, whatever the case might be. The voice that says you've had enough rest, you need to go. That other people are doing more. I need to set goals. That is something that was in my mind in the beginning of, throughout December. I was so pressured to set goals, but I don't even know what they are, to be honest. I know I can see a vision of my future self, but having for me to go now and sit and write down, these are my goals, and this is the action steps that I need to take. I don't have the energy for that. I can't. I just get tired thinking about it. Those voices isn't truth. It is conditioning. Okay? And you don't need to argue with it. You don't need to obey it. All you need to do is notice it and then choose something a little bit kinder. So I want you all to take a moment now and ask yourself, where are you forcing yourself when you actually need to just gently re-enter? Forcing yourself could be forcing routines instead of easing back in. You know, that comes to that I need to do one full hour of training or 5 times a week, otherwise it doesn't count. Forcing motivation instead of rebuilding your energy. Forcing discipline instead of compassion. Rhythm, which is our topic for tonight, is not something that you earn. You do not earn rhythm. It is something that you allow. Does that make sense? Now, the room is open for discussion. We've got about 10 minutes. Of course, I don't mind going over time, but if anyone needs to leave or whatnot, you're more than welcome to do so. But there is one person before we talk about, keep in mind where you are forcing entry. You don't have to share, obviously, if you want to, please. Lydia, we went through the room and we introduced ourselves. We talked a little bit, each of us talked about what it is that we are, what do we want from these or expecting to get from these Zoom chats that we're going to have. And if there is anything that came up for you throughout the holidays or, you know, going over into the new year, that could be your goals, or if you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed or whatever is coming up for you. If you want to share, you are welcome to introduce yourself to us now. Is she still here? I have so many Zoom users.
Whoops.
Yeah.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hey.
Oh.
Yes. Hi, guys. Sorry, my camera's not on.
That's okay.
I look a mess. So yeah. Yeah, everything you're speaking about, Kay, like, I relate to it so much because I've been wondering why I'm not getting into the rhythm of, not the rhythm, but like I'm not getting back to my routine. And usually the first month of the year, I usually fall into, like, I get depressed. I don't know, like, if I can call it depression, because I have to get back to the normal schedule with the kids going back to school. I have to start being productive. So I usually struggle to get back into my exercise routine. And I totally relate to what you're saying about those self-sabotaging thoughts, where sometimes you end up not even working out. So I am aware, I am going through everything you're talking about. I'm actually going through it right now. And last year was the same thing. The year before was the same thing as well. The first couple of weeks of the month, I am not okay. So I really like this because now I'm understanding why I'm feeling like that, because I could never understand why I was always down in the beginning of the year when everybody's motivated, everybody's setting goals and setting their New Year's resolutions. Whereas for me, it looks like, oh my gosh, another year. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. 100%. 100%. I felt that too. It was like, I have to do this all over again. That's what it feels like.
And you know, it's so sad. This morning, I actually said to my husband, because I haven't been gymming, you know, consistently. But during December, I was gymming, which was a shock for me. But I said to my husband this morning, I was like, I hate my body. Just listen to those self-sabotaging thoughts, because I felt so flabby. I felt so, yeah. So I'm just glad I tuned into this because it's really helping me.
Yeah. Lydia, I'm so sorry that you are going through this. I think if we can, because I do the same. Like I've never really said out loud, I hate my body, but I do try to get constant external validation from Ricardo. And it becomes a habit, you know, like, do I look okay? Do I need to put something else on? Can I walk around like this? And I can see him also getting frustrated with me, like, oh, what did I just tell you? And it's like, sometimes I just don't believe him. So it's difficult, but we have to eavesdrop in a little bit, you know, just listen to what you are telling yourself the whole time, because these are the stories that we end up believing. And then our external or habits or whatever goes on outside becomes a confirmation of the stories that you are telling yourself. But I hope that you got something from this, and that you are able to just take a moment to breathe and just ask yourself, you know, what version of me is available to show up? Because I know you also have a lot of studying that's happening, and lots that also a mom and a full-time job. It's a lot. It's a lot to handle.
Yes, but I'm really getting a lot from this. And I think trying to get back to the full 1 hour of gym every day, I was putting a lot of pressure on myself to do everything that I was doing throughout last year, right? So you just pointing out to the fact that, you know, we need to start getting into a rhythm rather than to force ourselves to get back to where we were maybe last year in September. I think it's a good way to look at it. It's making me feel better.
Then I am happy.
Shock.
Anyone else that wants to add something or say something or ask something?
I want to say something.
Yes, Go for
So
it.
listening about like every year is the same and you try to get back to where you were or the routine that you were or the consistency and how dedicated you were, you're not that version of yourself anymore. So it's no use putting pressure on yourself. I looked so good 2 years ago. That's what I want to do. That's my goal. That's not you anymore. You're a completely different person. Not completely different person, but like it's a new version or a new season of yourself. So it's no use you compare yourself. That's what I tell myself. It's no use I compare myself to how I looked like a year ago or 6 months ago or last week, because life has happened in between and you now at the present moment, you are not where you years ago, or like however you said that, how you felt or how you feel about
You
yourself, you
felt
felt
when
about
you were
yourself.
18 years old.
Yes, like you're not there now. So yeah, that's my thing too. Like I keep on thinking I want to look like the way I looked like a few years ago, or feel that good, or be able to lift the weights that I used to then. But it's not where I am. That is not where I am now. That's what's my realization came in as well. It's no use I keep comparing myself to a couple of years ago or a few months ago. That's not the version of me at the moment.
That is very, very important what you have just said, 100%. Because we keep comparing ourselves to who we were last year, what we were able to do last year, or 2 years ago, 3 years ago, or when we had, or before we had children. And it's kind of like living in the past the whole time. And it's a lot more freeing to just let that go. This is where you're at right now. So what can I do now? And of course that is going to come with getting to know yourself, who you are right now. Who is this version of you? You've been multiple versions in your lifetime, and that is constantly changing. Constantly, we're growing, we're expanding, sometimes we're not. And that is when it comes down to understanding and accepting the season you are in. Thank you, Dalai. That's good. Very important.
I can second that information. Yeah.
That's good. Elena, so you could start with just doing 5 minutes of stretching.
Yeah, definitely. There's one thing that I started when I finished. I started doing 3 kilometers every day. I started running because I felt like that was one way to be by myself, first of all, to also start running without my headphones, to start being present in the moment. And that actually brought me back to earth. It brought me back to who I actually want to become. Because back in the day, I used to compare myself, and I still do, but I've suppressed those feelings. So even though I've now started doing those things, it's me always trying to better myself. But it's always that thing of, you don't need to better yourself. You need to just feel better in yourself than what you did the previous day. And not compare yourself. Don't do things. And you know what I'm saying? It's just those things that you were saying, the self-sabotage is definitely, it it hit home.
What you are also saying, that who do I want to become, is also a very, very important thing. Because that is going to shape your habits, what you do, how you show up in the world. And we want to try to get clear on that. Even if you don't have specific goals of like, I want to lift this amount of weight, I want to run this far, and I want to weigh this much. You don't need that. If you can only feel what your future self feels like, that is an anchor. And then something that I normally do is every day when I want to do something or not do something, I would ask myself, is this what my future self would do? So I'm clear on what I want my future self to feel like. And that's all I need.
Yeah.
You can go deeper and like, what does she want to look like? You do want to get clear on that. What does my future
Yeah, definitely.
what all of these things. But whenever I feel overwhelmed by doing something that is going to help me evolve or get to where I want to be, and I don't want to do it, I ask myself, what would my future self do? And then you will feel it. You must get out of your head. Don't think about it, because you're going to feel the answer, but then you're going to try and come up with, your mind is going to want to try and come up with excuses. Yeah, but all of this and this and this and this. And that
there's always going to be that but you know,
100%.
you just need to learn.
And
that's the hard part.
Yeah, and that comes with what rhythm is.
Yeah, definitely.
Learning to knowing when to rest and when to push. Because my future self is definitely not feeling like she's burnt out or consumed by fitness, which is what my past self felt like. Fitness and lifting and training was my entire identity until, what was it? It was beginning of last year. I just finished launching the Phoenix project. And I told Ricardo, I am done. I don't care if no one signs up for this program. I don't know what we're going to do after this, but I am done. But I had a little bit of an ego death or something, because that is when I was like, I don't even know what I enjoy doing outside of coaching or fitness. I don't even know what it is. And so those are important things, because we miss the pleasure of life. So tapping into all of these things is going to help you just move forward. Because sometimes the answer, your future self is going to say rest. And then you need to rest without feeling guilty, because that is something that we can also override sometimes. Like your future self is not just going to be all up in the hustle world, you know. She's going to have her life. She's going to enjoy life. And so sometimes that requires rest. For some of us, rest is work, but that's the work you need to do, you know.
True words. Firewood. Can I please be excused?
Yes, we are done. If there's no one that wants to say anything or talk about anything, but you are free, please delay. But we are essentially done. Thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you. Thank you.
Darling.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Well, thank you so much, ladies. If there's really like anyone else that want to say something or add or talk about something quickly.
I just wanted to ask, because I missed a gigantic chunk in the middle there. Could you share the link to the recording just so that I can catch up on the middle part? Because the last bit I absolutely loved listening to, so I'm really keen to catch up on the middle and the discussion there.
Right. I will definitely. I'm going to load it. It's probably going to take a long time to export, but once it's ready, we'll probably get the links tomorrow. Definitely.
Perfect. Okay, cool. Yay. Thank you. And thank you so much for hosting it. I'm so excited for what's to come.
Yeah, I'm really excited too. I want to start planning our next topic, but y'all is also, please, more than welcome to drop into the WhatsApp group and just, say or come up with ideas for topics and whatnot. And then we just do it again.
Thank you so much, Kaylee.
You're so welcome. Thank you, ladies. Have a wonderful
Thank you so much. This was awesome.
Thanks,
This
Lydia.
was awesome.
Thank you, Kaylee. Appreciate it.
You're so welcome, Alicia. Enjoy the rest of your week, ladies.
You too.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you.